The gentleman is recognized for 1 hour.
For the purpose of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to the distinguished gentlewoman from Pennsylvania, Representative Scanlon, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During consideration of this resolution, all time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection.
House Resolution 97 provides for consideration of 3 measures: H.R. 185, H.J. Res. 24, and H.J. Res. 26. The rule provides for H.R. 185 to be considered under a structured rule with 1 hour of debate, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority members of the Energy and on Commerce Committee or its designees, and provides for 1 motion to recommit. Oh, and Mr. Speaker, I should point out that in only our 2nd week after organizing, this Republican majority has already tied House Democrats in the number of times a structured rule makes in order more minority amendments than majority amendments. In the 117th Congress, House Democrats only reported 1 structured rule making in order more Republican amendments than Democratic amendments. Clearly, House Republicans are delivering a more open and transparent legislative process for the American people. The rule further provides for consideration of 2 measures, H.J. Res. 24 and H.J. Res. 26, under closed rules with 1 hour of debate each, equally divided and controlled by the chair and the ranking minority member of the Committee on Oversight and Accountability or their designees. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of this rule and in support of the underlying legislation. H.R. 185 would finally end the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's proof of COVID-19 vaccination requirement for foreign travelers entering the United States. This legislation should receive broad bipartisan support. After all, it was President Biden in September 2022 who acknowledged that the pandemic was over. His own quote, "Life is returned to normal across the country." Yet despite the world moving on from the pandemic, this administration persists in retaining an unnecessary vaccination requirement for those visiting the United States. Maintaining this mandate has led to great hardship for many Americans, including those in my own district in Western New York. People have been separated from their family, their friends, and loved ones for years. And it is time that we acknowledge that these vaccine mandates do not definitively stop the spread of COVID. It is time for Congress to act where this administration refuses and finally end this mandate. Additionally, the rule provides before us consideration of H.J. Res. 24, a resolution disapproving of the District of Columbia's Local Resident Voting Rights Amendment Act of 2022, a law which would allow non-citizens of the U.S. to vote in D.C.'s local elections. Citizenship is at the core of our society. It represents an acceptance of duties and privileges, including the right to vote. The oath of allegiance for newly naturalized individuals includes the following, quote, "I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty." These aren't just words. This is a pledge of loyalty to this country and an assumption of responsibilities as a citizen. With the enacting of the Local Resident Voting Rights Amendment Act, the District of Columbia has violated the core idea of what it means to be a citizen of this great country. America is not a geographic expression where the concept of citizenship and sovereignty is meaningless or relative. We are a sovereign nation and a sovereign people. It is Congress's right and responsibility to step in and right a wrong that threatens one of the pillars of our democracy, the right of citizens to vote. And finally, this rule provides before us the consideration of H.J. Res. 26, disapproving of the District of Columbia's revised Criminal Code Act of 2022. In the past few years, murders, rapes, carjackings, robberies, and theft, they've skyrocketed here in our nation's capital. The District of Columbia's law enforcement remains understaffed and overwhelmed by the soaring rates of violent crime. Residents have routinely registered this concern, as a recent poll showed 75% of D.C. residents sought more police officers and safer streets. Yet the D.C. City Council, in their infinite wisdom, chose not to heed the concerns of D.C. residents or its many visitors, and instead approved the revised Criminal Code Act of 2022, a bill patterned after the disastrous policies already implemented in Democratic-led cities across this country. The revised Criminal Code Act of 2022 will drastically reduce sentences for violent offenders and make it easier than ever before for those offenders to obtain early release. To be clear, when I say violent offenders, I'm referring to those convicted of murder, rape, and other seriously horrific crimes. Additionally, D.C.'s revised criminal code provides a right to a jury trial for a slew of misdemeanors, forcing the court system, already strained, to take on a new workload. And not only does this deprive Americans of their right to a speedy trial, it will also deny victims resolution and closure against perpetrators of serious offenses as they face an overwhelmed and understaffed justice system. Democratic leadership in most major cities across this country, they're trading the safety of Americans for the lawlessness of their pie-in-the-sky policies that in reality let violent offenders go, reduce sentences, avoid prosecution, and deny victims justice. Just downstate from my own district, New York City has seen its crime rate skyrocket by 22% since this time last year alone. Arrests linked to shootings and homicides jumped 12% in just 1 year. In Chicago, Illinois, the homicide rate is up a whopping 34% from 2019. In San Francisco, businesses, from mom and pop shops to national retail chains, they've closed their doors. They've laid off workers because they can't afford to stay open in a city whose leadership refuses to prosecute basic offenses like theft and shoplifting. And now, not to be undone, the District of Columbia has chosen to import these dangerous and disastrous policies. Now, just last week, only a mile or so away from this Capitol, a gunman went on a rampage at the Potomac Avenue Metro station. A Metro employee, 64-year-old Robert Cunningham, he was killed, and 3 people were injured. This tragic event is just one more in a wave of violent crime that has swept across the District of Columbia in recent years. Yet the D.C. City Council seems unperturbed as it steamrolls ahead with a policy that will only make the district, its residents, and the many visitors to this city less safe, our nation's capital. Residents of D.C. have the same rights as other Americans to be secure in their homes and to be protected against crimes committed against their lives and their families and their property. Putting violent offenders back on the streets and reducing sentences for violent crimes will only endanger the lives of D.C. residents. It is our duty as members of Congress, as laid out in the D.C. Home Rule Act, to disapprove of a policy like this that threatens the safety of this city's residents. I urge my colleagues to support this rule, and I reserve the balance of my time.